Greetings, fellow humans. Bad Mark here with another transmission from Metre Keyboards, and today we're taking a look at the M1V5, the fifth iteration of this very popular aluminum 75% from Monsgekk. Without further ado, let's go ahead and open it up and see what we have in the box. We're met with very handsome packaging. So we do have a user manual, and we have something that has always been appreciated from Akko and Monsgekk, is a quality control, quality assurance card. So you know a human being has taken a look at everything, ensured that things work and that the correct things are in the box. First one has a dedicated keycap puller and an IC style wire switch puller. We have the 2.4 gigahertz dongle, a purple colorway with the Monsgekk logo on it, which is greatly appreciated. And I've received a pre-built version of this, so it comes preloaded with the Akko Piano Pro V3. In the other box, we have a matching color, rubberized, coiled USB-A to USB-C cable. And here we are with the Monsgekk M1 version 5. So as we can see, we have a very lovely hunk of aluminum. We do have a pre-built. Looks like we have some front or side shine through keycaps, and we have a topographic keycap style. We have a very nice flat or lower but wider knob that has a very satisfying click to it. We have a 75% expanded layout with a 4-key navigation column and 1U modifiers on the right of the spacebar. We do have an F13 or a top delete, depending on how you like to map it. So let's go ahead and take off the knob real quick. We see that this aluminum knob that has a plastic inner collar. We'll go ahead and show you one of the new tricks the Monsgekk M1 has learned. Quick disassembly. Now, for all of those of us that like to get into the keyboard and mess around and check things out and change the sound profiles, we have an easy way in. We have the ball latch system. Basically, the keys that go into the latches unlock the top aluminum case in place. It doesn't lose any of its rigidity. It stays nice and firm. And it gives us full access in case we want to modify foams or do any sort of modifications. So we have a very accessible 75% keyboard, aluminum frame, an easy open system. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Turning it up, I believe, will put us into Wise 2.4. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the 2.4. All right, so the 2.4 connected almost immediately. I believe I put it in Mac mode. I believe down is Windows mode. Let me put it down there and then, yep. So down is Windows wireless mode, middle is Windows wired mode, and top is Mac mode and wireless Mac mode. Keyboard has a nice weight to it. It is definitely not the lightest. It's not the heaviest keyboard, but it's definitely, I would say it's ranked on the heavier side. All right, so let's go ahead and give Bluetooth a try. Bluetooth was actually pretty quick. This, like I said, this is the fully built one from Monsgekk, but they do have it as a kit as well, as they have with, I believe, all of the M1s that they've released so far. We see here we can cycle through either rainbow or some actual preset colors. Just the specs. Today we are taking a look at the Monsgekk M1V5, the fifth iteration in this very popular aluminum keyboard series. This one is a 3-mode QMK and VIA aluminum 75% with a knob. It also has a quick release ball catch open mechanism. It has a gasket mounted PC plate, a 3 and 5 pin hot swap PCB with IXPE layers, as well as support for screw-in stabilizers. It is available in either a bare bone kit or a pre-built keyboard. It is also available either in an ANSI or ISO layout. It has a wide variety of choices for switches and keycaps, should you choose to build it yourself by selecting components. This keyboard comes weighing in at 1,768 grams, fully built. It has a battery capacity of 8,000 milliamp hours. The chin of this keyboard sits at 22 millimeters above the typing surface, while the back sits at 34 millimeters, providing for an angle of typing of 7 degrees. The MSRP of this keyboard starts at $89.99 and goes up from there, depending on options chosen. Links below. Thankfully, though, that gave me a chance to actually get a hold of another one. One of these is from Akko, one of these is from Monsgeek, but obviously they're the same keyboard. Monsgeek and Akko are sister companies, but it gives me a good comparison, especially once we get to the sound test, so that we can show the differences between the options that you have. This one is loaded with white on black ASA keycaps and rosewood switches, so it has definitely a much deeper tone to it. Now, of course, like we took a look earlier, we do have plate mounted stabilizers that actually are quite nice, but we do have support for screw-in stabilizers on the PCB. Surprisingly enough, these they did not follow the trend. There's only IXPE, there's no PET film. It doesn't really seem to suffer at all from the sound. And like I said, I'm going to have 2 sound tests here at the end so that you can get a pretty good comparison of what, you know, one setup versus another one. Because, I mean, we got the same keyboard, but we're going to have a different set of keycaps as well as a different set of switches. Everything else, you know, besides the color is the same. It is a well-dampened keyboard. It is well constructed. In my opinion, it definitely has a number of improvements over the previous M1. Then we have the M1V5, which I thought was a welcome improvement. That's when they first introduced the wider, flatter knob. They did still stick to a 2-piece design, but they did change and take out that bar, and we definitely had a much richer stock sound than we did with the previous versions. With the ball latch mechanism and the fact that we're talking about a keyboard that we can open up and get into quite quickly, we have 3 modes. We have 8,000 milliamp hour battery. We have QMK and VIA. I will be sharing the source to the QMK source tree in the video description. But we have, oh yeah, this is another thing, because the potentiometer used to be part of the main PCB, but now they've actually broken it out into its own board and given it support, so no worries about that breaking or causing issues with the PCB. Obviously, the ball catch system, not only does it make it easier to open, but well-designed ball catch systems such as this one actually help prevent sound from traveling from the top to the bottom. That's why, in my opinion, there's absolutely no need for a force brake mod on this model. That's one thing that I do find interesting. I agree with all of the changes they made, but I question why they took out the PET layer. I really like these keyboards. I mean, they are, Monsgeek has really been a company since their inception. Monsgeek has always provided, for the most part, whether wireless being an exception, but they have the majority of their keyboards, the QMK source is available. They're via keyboards. So being someone who uses Linux as my operating system, being able to program my keyboard, especially just through the browser, makes it that much more, it adds more value to it. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like how the keyboard feels, how the keyboard sounds, but if I had to go into Windows to program it, with my QMK keyboards, I can go ahead while I'm in Linux and go ahead and try different. Hey, I've got an idea for a macro. I wonder if this will save me some time, or is it going to be more of a headache, or whatever the case may be. I don't have to worry about, oh, I got to boot up my Windows machine and go through all of that hassle. I'd rather just not even have anything from Microsoft running in my house. But that's neither here nor there. Having the ability to not only go into the source and make changes, I haven't found a need to make any changes, but if I ever did, I have that option. And having that option, to me, I think is what a lot of people are looking for, and especially those of us that, you know, whether we're full-fledged developers or whether we're just techies in general, that open source hardware and software mentality is something that I think is starting to really ring true with a lot more people. It's tied along with the right to repair and, you know, basically ownership over the electronics. So when you have open source firmware and software, you have that option, that choice. So it's very consumer centric, and I really believe in it. I really enjoy these keyboards. I just know that I've seen the 1, the 3, and the 5. And the 5 is by far, in my opinion, the best construction, one of the best feeling, most accessible, and just the better one from the series. All they've done is improve iteration over iteration, which is what you're supposed to do. I work with the Monsgeek team as well as the Akko team, and they're people who care about their products. They're people who care what customers think about their products, and they want to make sure that they're producing and designing, making, and putting out products that people want to use, and they care. Now, here we have the Piano Pros loaded with the shine through cherry topographic keycaps. I think that's what they're called. I'll put links to everything down below, just in case. And then we're also going to do a sound test of it in black with the rosewood switches and the white on black Akko ASA keycaps. I do hope that you enjoyed the review. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you'd like for me to cover, either in the 75% tier list video as far as it comes to these, or anything that you'd like to see me do or change or inspect when I come back to mod these. Anyway, I'll go ahead and leave you guys with sound test of both of these lovely 75% aluminum keyboards. Like I said, start at $89.99, and that's before any discounts. Links will be down below. Want to wish everyone out there in YouTube land an amazing rest of your day, and until the next transmission, keep calm and keyboard on.